Hey guys, welcome back. We love BMWs on this channel. Got another one right after the 330i. This is an X3. Let's check it out, see how it does. No cicadas in this one. Let's see how it does. Heard some initial crunches from this wood panel, but then when I press it, the crunches went away, but there's a tiny squeak when you push. Just a little bit of a squeak, but the crunches went away, which tells me that material was just settling a little bit. So let's go make our way to the front. $13,000 miles. Somebody's been doing some driving. Oh yeah, apologies in advance if this video is a little bit on the dark side. I always pick the best times to film these cars, such as, 8 o'clock at night. Anyway, let's begin. Alright, this one I'm going to be a little bit lazy on and skip the button test. The reason why is doing a button test in one of these cars is such a pain because even though the car is turned off, it's not really turned off. The windows still work, the wipers still work, and that makes noise. I sort of kind of did a button test in the last video. That was the 330i. I'm just going to put that link in the description because this is virtually the same. So go ahead and check that out if you want to see the button test. They're really the same. It's the same thing. Let's hit the final button though, because that's the least I could do. All right, talking about fit and finish. So this car actually, in my opinion, did better than the 330i that I just did. It did squeak a little bit though, and it squeaked in the same spots as that car. Most of the squeaks came from the center console area here. Not so much from the overhead console, not like the last car anyway. And then the rest of it, kind of on the doors and whatnot, those were pretty solid, those areas. So definitely not as bad as the last car. I'm a little bit more pleased with this. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for fit and finish. You know, things are starting to look up. As far as materials go, this is pretty much the same as the last car. So let me tell you about it real quick. Got the soft touch vinyl on the dash and in most areas of the car, including the glove box and lower, although it's not as soft as the one that's on the dash. Still has some give. It's still acceptable. We also got a darker colored wood here that looks nice enough, and it's got a little ambient lighting strip. I like that. I like cars with the ambient lighting. Same seats that are in the 3 Series pretty much. It's just a fake leather. Feels nice enough, and it has some nice stitching in it. The headliner's cloth and the sun visor is plastic, same as the last car. Then the buttons and switchgear are also very similar to the last car. They're definitely above average. Design-wise, I think they look pretty nice. You know, I kind of like the sort of brushed metal look on these window switches and whatnot. I think that looks pretty nice. Same with on the steering wheel. I mentioned in the 3 Series that that car had a huge screen that went across. This is still the old screen. That big screen has not made it into the X3, it looks like. So it's got the older screen, and it does creak just a little bit more than the huge screen. But in order to make the huge screen, they had to change a couple of the climate control vents and buttons, and you know, that 3 Series didn't have this knurling on the climate vent valve right here. I don't know if you can really call it a valve, but it, you know, closes and opens the valve for the air. Yeah, you know what, screw it, I'm going to call it a valve. Anyway, that car is missing the knurling. This car has the knurling, and I wish they had that in the 3 Series. Rest of these buttons are okay. I like the knurling on the iDrive controller. That looks pretty sweet. Gets the same score as the 3 Series and the 3 Series before that. 6 out of 10. Definitely above average. There you guys have it. The final score is going to be 7 out of 10 for fit and finish. 6 out of 10 for materials. Please let me know your thoughts. I drove this one around real quick, and I mentioned in the 3 Series, it didn't feel like the enthusiast car that you would expect from a 3 Series, at least not to me. This car kind of feels like the 3 Series on stilts, just a little bit taller. So, not really a driver's car. The steering, like the 3 Series, is actually pretty tight. Like when you just move the wheel off center, it does change direction. That part is pretty sharp, but there's just no feel to the steering. It's kind of numbed out. But this is an SUV, and that's maybe not such a bad thing, because this car is very comfortable, actually. It accelerates the same way as the 3 Series. It has the same engine. I think this is the 30i, if I'm not mistaken. Got the same 4-cylinder turbo. It's got enough power for sure. You know, not slow. But just like the 3 Series, the ride is actually quite soft, and the cabin is pretty quiet. You know, you don't hear a ton of wind noise, and when you do run over a bump in one of these, and I neglected to mention this on the 3 Series, there's not a lot of noise, like suspension noise, coming through the cabin when you do hit a bump. So whatever they're doing for sound dampening and suspension dampening in these cars is pretty good nowadays. I'm quite pleased with that. You know, it's not the best solution for handling and driving dynamics, you know, like sportiness, but as a daily commuter, it definitely excels. I think this rides better than the GLC. So yeah, maybe not a sports SUV, but definitely a comfortable daily commuter. You know, I'd be perfectly happy with this. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Sorry to film this when it's basically nighttime. Hopefully this video turns out halfway decent, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.